And let's begin with the biggest topic. Who do you blame the most for the Cavs losing in 5 games, G. Bush?
While y'all get started, I'm going to get me some Tylenol and take this right now because these dudes is giving me a headache. So what we're going to do before I even get into it, I need to get myself together and prepared to talk about this travesty.
Look at
Go
that.
ahead,
Jason, you start us off. Who do you blame the most for the Cavs losing in 5?
Boy, it's hard to pick one. It really is. I mean, when you lose in 5, there's plenty of blame to go around. Everybody has to share in it.
Is there anybody that doesn't get any blame? I don't think there's a single person.
Robin Lopez.
Okay.
I don't blame Robin Lopez.
Yeah,
I don't blame Sam
Robin.
Merrill.
Yeah.
I don't blame Neto.
Raphael?
Yeah,
What about
I don't blame him.
What about Mamadi?
I don't blame
Mamadi.
him.
That's Mobley's brother, right?
I don't blame him.
No, Mobley's brother. I don't blame him either.
Yeah.
I don't blame Donovan's dad.
Yeah, no.
He was there. I don't blame him. I do blame Donovan.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make me pick one, I'm actually gonna pick Donovan because he's the one that was on the floor and he had a terrible series.
Yeah.
They brought him here for situations like this, and he didn't deliver. 2 years in a row, he got run by Brunson in the first round. He's been in the league 6 years. He's won 2 playoff series. He's never made a conference final. You got a lot to prove now, as far as I'm concerned, with Donovan Mitchell. And I'm going to put a lot of blame on Kobe for constructing this roster. You know, I was joking with some people yesterday. They were complaining about JB. I don't know if JB's any good or not. I don't know. But I know that you gave him hamburger helper and spoiled milk and told him to go bake a cake. And this is what you get. So there's plenty of blame to go around, but I'm putting it on roster construction and Donovan Mitchell.
G. Bush.
Like you said, Jason said a lot. There's a lot of people. I could just, to me, it's any, mini, mighty, mo. I could blindfold myself and just pick somebody, and that would work well for me. But I'm going to go also to roster construction. One of the big glaring issues is the fact that they really didn't do anything at the All-Star break to make this team better. They got rid of Kevin Love, and we can all say right now that looks like a huge mistake. They also, in constructing this roster, have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley playing beside each other, which now we know does not work. That is not going to be something moving forward that's tenable, that's going to win you championships. And then I'll throw a slight little bit of this on JB. Yes, you had a terrible, not the ingredients you wanted to do what you want to do, but at the end of the day, there's one thing that is free. Effort is free, intensity is free, work ethic is free, and an attitude of nastiness is free. I didn't see none of those free things being offered this series, and I could understand if the Cavs got beat straight up and Brunson and Julius Randle just outplayed us, right? Great. I'll clap it up for them, and I'll show us some love because I believe in competition and I believe in saluting people who win the game. But I won't say that I'm satisfied with this season because the way that they ended this season was a joke because they didn't offer any resistance. They looked like they didn't even care to be there yesterday. And now we look to see what they're going to do moving forward. But no, I go to roster. I go to roster creation and also the coach and figuring out why the heck can't we look like we fighting.
Okay, guys. You know, Jason, you said this was hard. And I understand what you're saying. It's hard because everybody played like crap and everybody shares in the blame. However, to me, it's easy. Because although I can give a percentage of blame to everybody, you are 100% right. The biggest culprit is not the coach. It's not the roster construction, which both played a role in this. It is Donovan Mitchell. There's no doubt about it. The Cavs traded every asset they had. Not some, not most. Well, I guess most because they still have Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. But besides Darius and Mobley, they literally traded every asset they had. And he was supposed to be a difference maker. The Cavs, if they didn't make this trade, would have been a good team this year. They would have probably made the playoffs, even without the Donovan Mitchell trade. Could they have done any worse? I guess they could have gotten swept. Okay, well, does that matter? They really couldn't have done anywhere. If they had Colin Sexton, who sucks, and Larry Markkinen, who had a great year, they would have been just as good. Maybe they would have won less games in the regular season, and maybe they would have been a 5 seed or a 6 seed or whatever. I don't know. maybe they would have been in the play-in. I don't think they would have. I still think they would have made the playoffs.
Yeah, they would have.
And would have done just as much as they did here. You brought in Donovan Mitchell because he's supposed to be the big swing, and you know what? I heard everybody going bananas for this guy. Scores 71. I don't give a shit about his 71 freaking points. 71, who cares? The regular season don't mean squat. Nothing. It's meaningless. If they bring this exact team back next year, I'm sorry. I'm derelict in my duty as a sports guy, but I will not watch the Cavs play in the regular season. I'm telling you right now. I'm not. If they make changes, I'll watch. If they don't make any changes, I'm not watching a game. If that leaves me unable, I will read recaps and see highlights. I won't watch a game. That's it. I have no interest. The regular season means nothing. His performance this year means nothing. I don't want to hear all these idiotic debates that we and every other nitwit in this town had all season. Why is Donovan Mitchell not in the MVP conversation? Why is he not on NBA first team? Who gives a freaking crap? He sucked when it mattered the most. He was absolute trash. I don't want to hear about roster construction. Yes, that played a role. It shouldn't have mattered in this series. It shouldn't have mattered. Jalen Brunson played like a star. Julius Randle's the second best player in the Knicks. He sucked the whole series, pretty much. He did not. He was a non-factor, a minor factor. But Brunson, with help from contributors, obviously Hart played well, and the two big guys played well. But Jalen Brunson was the star. He put the Knicks on his back, and he carried them to a championship. That 23.2 per game is completely misleading because of Game 1. He was great in Game 1. He was good in Game 2, and he was beyond trash in 3, 4, and 5. This guy doesn't belong in a superstar conversation. He doesn't belong in an MVP conversation. The only series he won, I think, was in the bubble, right? Isn't that the only time he's ever won a series?
He did not actually win that series. When he scored 50 points twice.
Oh, they lost the first round that year?
They lost in the first round.
He's won 2 series in 6 years.
2 series in 6 years. Always some excuse. And I'm sure by the end, in 2 months, he'll probably be whining to be out of here because everybody's a bunch of whiners. Instead of trying to come back and win, I want to go somewhere else. Everybody always wants to go. They always want to take their ball and go home. That's because our society today is soft. Bunch of wimps, these young guys. This was I want to drop an F-bomb so bad. It's embarrassing that we can't. It's a terrible job out of us that I can't drop an F-bomb. But they were disgusting, and Donovan Mitchell is without a doubt to blame. And if you're at home, listen to me, you people on YouTube, I'll look at this camera and that camera and that camera. If you're blaming JB, listen, JB don't know what the hell he's doing. Let's be honest. All right? That's a little too strong. JB didn't do a great job. It's not that he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He didn't do a great job. Late in the game, when they purposely fouled and Darius Garland fouled out of the game, that was a major failure in coaching. The game was 99% over. You can't let your second best player foul out. He should have been pulled out of the game there when he fouled out on defense. You're purposely fouling. You take him out of the game. You foul, and then after the first free throw, you bring Darius back in for offense. That was a major flaw. And there were some mistakes he made, no doubt. But honestly, first of all, in this town, all we do is ever blame the coach for most things. We apologize for the players, and that's a soft mentality. The players lost this game. JB deserves some blame, and so does roster construction. But the players, more than any other sport, Jason, and you know this better than anybody, it's all about the players in the NBA, right? All about the players. If the Cavs had won this series, would we be lauding JB for his brilliant moves? No. It's all about the players, and more importantly, it's all about the stars. And the stars played like shit. That's it. Simple. End of story. Their 4 best players were all crap in this series. And that's why they lost. But mostly Donovan Mitchell played like a freaking scrub.
That's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
I actually don't have a problem with Bull just said because heavy is the head that wears the crown. When you are a superstar, I saw back in the day when Kobe Bryant refused to shoot against the Phoenix Suns, right? He sat on, he was like, man, y'all think y'all so good? Go ahead, do your thing. I've seen what LeBron got. When you are the best player on a team, that's what happens. If you don't get them over the hump, you the man, you're going to get the critical and you're going to get the most blame. And I do believe his numbers is misleading and it's right. It looks like he's doing his thing, but when it came up to big moments, when you needed a big shot, when you needed a big stop, he was not there to deliver what he was supposed to. But, however, he didn't play the worst in this series. The person who played physically the worst in this series, I do not want to see back on this roster completely. Jared Allen, to me, not only when people, Jared Allen is the heart and soul of your team.
No.
Look at that stat line. And I don't say I could do a lot of things, but 4 points and 4 rebounds. And the most damning part about the situation is his body language. His body language looked sheepish. It looked coy. It looked shy. It looked passive the entire game. At some point, he was just running up and down the court, getting cardio like this, trotting. When he couldn't catch the ball. He couldn't defend anybody. He couldn't, and we're not going to talk about the physical nature of it. I'm going to say this. Just because Jared Allen was one of the first people we got on this team and signed him to a contract, that's our damn fault. That don't mean you good. That just means he is better than what you had. Jared Allen cannot be a major part of this team moving forward if you want to win a championship because he's unplayable against solid bigs. And when people say, well, they're young, Jared Allen he is, how old is Jared Allen, 25, 26?
He's 25.
He's been in the league, what is it,
He's
6,
been in the
7
league
years?
6
You
years.
don't come.
This was his 3rd trip to the postseason, by the
come
way.
on, yeah.
3rd trip.
And you don't come back with heart. Heart is something that either you're a rough rider or you not. You don't come back with no heart, no aggressiveness. And I thought the series was dead when even yesterday, Julius Randle put his clothes on. Julius Randle didn't even keep a uniform on. He said, let me get my street clothes on. I'm going to go sit over here, put a hat on, and go post up. And they still, Obi Toppin comes in and is like, don't worry, I got you, big dog. 12 points, I got you, dog. 12 points. Obi Toppin. Like the Cavs roster is just not good enough. And by the way, I'm rethinking where they are, right? We thought they was coming in at 4, but after the playoffs, I don't believe that you sure not better than Knicks. You're sure as hell not better than the Heat. And you might not be better than the Hawks. So if you want to run it back, be my guest, because I don't believe you might be a 7 seed next year.
Yeah. Jason, think about this for a minute. And I'm not going to get into detail on this because we'll talk a little more about it later. The 8 seed Heat beat the Bucks in 5 games. The 7 seed Hawks, who most people thought would get swept by the Celtics, maybe a gentleman's sweep at best, forced that series to 6, playing a great 4th quarter to come back and extend that series. These teams are showing a lot of heart. Even the Nets, who are so undermanned right now. I know they got swept, but they were winning all those games. They played
They were up in the second
Nets
half
got
in 3 of the
pieces.
4 games.
They were at least playing competitive basketball against a much better team in Philadelphia. The Cavs were the worst team in the East in the playoffs.
It's funny to me that it's fascinating. Had the Cavs not made the Mitchell trade, I don't think anyone would be nearly as angry as they are now.
No, certainly not.
Because if they ran back the team they had from last year, and I agree with everything you said, like, what did they gain by making the Mitchell trade? They're still out in the first round.
Right.
I wrote that this morning, actually. And I'm not opposed to the trade. Like, I didn't think it was a bad trade.
Agreed.
Like, you think your window's opening, you got a chance to win, a superstar becomes available. I'm still going to call him a superstar. He had a horrible series.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him a star. You pushed all in, you got him. But you could have gone out in the first round anyway. But if they ran this back and they lose with Markkanen and they lose with Darius and Evan in the first round, everything goes the same. We're going to say, all right, well, hey, they took that step. Last year was the play-in. This year they made the playoffs. You know, they lost. It didn't go the way we wanted to, but that's okay. It's trading in the right direction. Everything changed when they made the Donovan trade.
right.
Once you traded for Mitchell, you started the clock. And
That's right.
And that's why so much anger and vitriol is coming out today from
Yes.
all sides because, like, you set yourself up for this. This is what you wanted. You
That's
exposed
right.
yourself to this, and now you have to deal with it.